Today we're in Tampa, Florida, and we are visiting Kristina Houser's portrait studio. Kristina Houser, modern portrait photographer. Oh, right, and I'm going to go in the salon door, which is here.
Hello.
Hi. Wow. How are you?
Amazing.
Welcome to my space. I'm so happy you're here. I can't believe it. I'm Kristina Houser, and I'm a wedding and portrait photographer in Tampa, Florida. So good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here. Funny story about how I was introduced to Sue. I just had started being a photographer, and I was obsessed with fashion magazines, and I really loved women's portraiture. And my friend's aunt was a photographer. I explained to her what we wanted to do. I was like, I'm really new to photography. I don't know if you can help me out. And she said, oh, like Sue Bryce? And I said, what's a Sue Bryce? What do you mean? And she goes, like on Creative Live, you want to do glamour photography like Sue Bryce. And I was like, I don't know. I just want to put hair and makeup on women. She's like Sue Bryce. So I'm like, okay, let me see what this Sue Bryce is all about. So I go on Google Creative Live. I find Inside the Glamour Studio. At the time, it was 2013. It was one of her first workshops. And I just sat there, my jaw was wide open. I'm like, yes, this is it. She's doing what I wanted to do, what my soul really wanted me to do. So I have been just an avid viewer and purchaser of her workshops and all of her videos ever since.
You have a salon.
We do. We have a full hair salon in the studio.
In your studio?
Yes. What I loved about it is that I could work with the same hair and makeup artist, because once I built the expectation and once they knew what I wanted out of hair and makeup, it just became so easy to have them in-house. So they cut and color, and we cross-promote our clients. It's really wonderful.
So this was a business you joined or created?
So this was a business that I brought into my space. I started out with a tiny corner set up with a mirror and a little stool, and my hair and makeup artist, who was always a freelancer, would come in and do her thing and then quickly leave. So I was like, how can I get them employed in here and feed them enough? So the idea came to open a salon.
Seeing her salon and makeup bar in the studio, I got goosebumps. I was just like, innovating your business like that just gets me so excited, and I was like, this is brilliant. She's just done an incredible job.
They do hair and makeup for all of our glamour sessions, for our weddings, all of it.
And when they're not shooting with you, they take their own clients?
Yes, so the idea is that their priority would be to do hair and makeup for photo shoots.
So they like rent a chair?
Yeah, exactly. So they rent this portion of the space. So incredibly, I pay my rent and then they pay me rent to be here.
You have a dressing room.
Yes, this is my favorite part of the studio, actually. I wanted my clients to have a space to just come in, put their things, and be able to get all dolled up.
Look at all your beautiful gowns.
It's fun. I've collected these over time. I get them from thrift stores and yard sales and wherever I could find them. But there's a dry cleaner in the area that every year they want to get rid of everything that people have left behind. And I don't know why you would leave a gown behind at a dry cleaner, but they do. So they do a $5 blowout, and my mom and I get in line at 7 in the morning, and we run in, and we get $5 gowns. So we do this every year. It's like our annual early up. Yes, please come. It's so fun. I love it.
And you have another rack out here?
Yeah, so we keep this for clients, so when they come in, they can put their things down, and all things tulle and pearls and chiffon.
And you don't shoot in this space?
We don't shoot over here. I have a whole nother space to show you that we shoot in. So this is just for our clients to be pampered, to come in, feel amazing, get hair and makeup done. When we were building the salon and decorating particularly that space, we really wanted to make it feel homey and feel quaint, and I wanted people to feel comfortable here. I've walked into photography and production studios before where everything is stark white and you walk in and it's cold. And I think when you're photographing everyday women and not models, that's intimidating. You don't want cameras pointed at you. You don't want these big pieces of equipment and lights. So we use just the presence of our space and the way we've decorated it and the colors. We use blues on the walls and soft, soothing tones to just keep chipping away at that insecurity. And everything we do is just convincing them one extra step that we've got you. We are gonna work you through this. Hi, honey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Mwah. Good. Sue, I want to introduce you to my husband, Troy.
Hi, Troy. Nice to meet
I
you.
feel like I've known you for years.
Actually, I hear that a lot, from a lot of husbands.
You're kind of a staple in our household. So for the last 4 years, it's just Sue Bryce, Sue Bryce, Sue Bryce in the background.
I've heard your voice for a long time now.
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
My son has grown up for the last 4 years hearing Sue Bryce in the background. He knows her by name. He knows Tessa by name. He knows everyone who's modeled. It is so funny to have watched her grow and watch her education grow, and to just have her through this whole process of building a studio. Recently, one of the biggest benefits that I've gotten out of your business model is the freedom to run my business and do it the way that I wanted to do it and make money doing it. So for 4 months now, Troy has...
End of November.
Yeah, end of November, he was able to leave his job.
No way.
And now he supports me in this business.
Are you here shooting, or what are you doing?
Just kind of helping out with whatever she needs, really.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially
we have
with
a
our son and
5-year-old
everything.
son.
So
Okay.
he's in
So-
kindergarten, so spend a lot more time with him, which is awesome.
Yeah,
So we get to have a good time.
that's
So
amazing.
he's been enjoying that a lot more for sure.
Oh, wow.
And then I don't have mom guilt because I know dad has him. Because when I'm at the office, sometimes I feel like, well, I should be at home. Or when I'm at home, I feel like I should be at work. And we've struck in this amazing work-life balance right now. He's always willing to help, and he thinks ahead of time what he could do to get me through my day. And sometimes he runs gigs with us if we need him to. He'll bring stuff in if we need him. He's just there for anything and everything, and it just makes this place work like clockwork.
That's incredible. Do you enjoy it?
I do.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Would you go back to working?
No, I would hope not.
So she just needs to make more money. You can take better holidays.
Yeah, exactly.
But the incredible part is him being in that role. So you think, oh, well, you just lost an income. The amount more work and money that I am able to make far surpasses the income that he was bringing in at a job that he did not like.
Yeah.
I love running this business. I love photographing women. I love photographing our couples. So it pained me to pull away from that in sacrifice of my husband going to a job that he really didn't like, that didn't suit him, and that was not financially good for us. So I finally realized that I kept thinking I had to sacrifice this in my business, when really we just had to sacrifice his job. It was a job versus a business.
How does it feel leaving your job to support her in business? That's a big one for me, because there is a him-her dynamic, which to me comes unnaturally for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time females are the home care. So what does that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think for us, just we're doing what we both feel are kind of born naturally to do.
Yeah.
She's just great at doing what she does, just in her career and everything. She's just amazing at it. And I just love being a dad and being at home and taking care of all those things. It just comes naturally to me. So for us, it was just kind of easy.
Yeah.
I mean, the job I had, I didn't really like it that much as thing that I did. I mean, it was still a little scary leaving, just because you are leaving that income, but I had all the faith in the world in her that everything would be okay. So.
And that's my next question is, how do you feel watching her build this?
I mean, it's amazing.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like, you watched her, so Kristina told me that she was a graphic designer, and when she had given, she was just doing a bit of freelance work,
bit of stuff.
trying to pay the bills, and you guys were
Working on
just
some
working
doors
week to week.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, she's now going, oh, Troy, you should leave your job. How long did that take? How long did that take?
It was 4 years from the day I bought a DSLR camera. 18 months I opened a studio, and 4 months ago. So it was a span of, it was 4 months shy of 4 years that I went from making maybe $600 a month to having enough income and enough business to say, hey, why don't you leave your job and come support me over here? And he was like, I've been waiting for you to say this.
For her to grow the way she needs to and wants to, I mean, it had to be done just to be able to be there and support her.
But isn't that incredible? You guys built a business. In 3 years that sustained your family.
Yeah, it is amazing.
And now it feels like ours, because we used to kind of have our own. He would go to work, I would go to work. Now this feels like our baby, now that he's participating in it. Having him as part of the team and as just even a supporter at home has been wonderful, and I think he is meant for that role for now, for this season of our life. And it'll eventually give him the freedom to dream and do something like I'm doing. He's never had that. He's always had a job, and he's always had to support or be that financial security. He's free. I can't wait. It's only been 4 months, so I cannot wait to see my husband blossom into who he is supposed to be, especially with regards to his passion and his career.
Oh my God, that blows my mind.
Yeah,
It really does.
it's wonderful, and it's because of your business model that this has all worked out for our family. It's benefited our family in ways you cannot believe.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.
Come on over. Yep, just through these doors here. Ta-da!
So you have the same size space?
Yes. So I started over here actually. So when I first opened the studio, I wanted natural light, and I saw the space. It was very ugly. White tile floors. It used to be an old Italian bakery.
And so this was a second space. So
Yes.
what happened?
So I started in here, and it just started to feel a little tight. This is actually 800 square feet, so I could have pulled it off, but I was filling it up. I was working in here to get away from the house because I have a small child, and I had the whole living room consult space here. This was a wall that was there with a TV.
So you put this door in?
Yeah, so we came in once this space was available. I was only here for 4 months, and I was like, I'll take it. And so we busted through. My mom and I went garage sailing and found these doors and hung them ourselves.
French doors.
Yep, and we painted. I know, aren't they beautiful?
Beautiful. And so you do your editing here?
Yep, so retouching gets done between here, and I also have a full space at my house set up.
So obviously you're a shop front.
Yeah.
Do you cover that door when you ship?
Yeah, we'll cover it, especially if people are changing in and out. We'll just put a V-flat there and shut it down.
Yeah.
Just so the light doesn't peek
And
in.
you've got 2 big windows.
Yeah, so we do have nice light. I like the light in here after 2 p.m. These are west-facing windows, so the sun just goes that way.
Okay.
And the
But
light
it's
gets
golden?
It's so golden. So it's like a very short window where I really like the light in here. So I have my
afternoon
strobe
light.
set up.
Okay. And this is a laser light scrim?
Yep. If I'm shooting in the morning, I just really don't love the light in here, and it's really blue. And another thing about Florida, you think we have all this sunshine, but we have clouds.
Yeah.
And I would constantly, I'd have my exposure and a cloud would come in, and then I'd have to change it, and then a cloud would leave, and then I'd have to and I just started getting so frustrated with that. So I really just fake my window light, and it's beautiful, and I learned that through you and Felix's lighting challenge. My first thing that I got to do with Sue taught me to finish light. It was called the lighting challenge, and they were faking natural light with strobe, and I was like, how perfect is this? Because I didn't want to shoot strobes. I didn't want that technical look and that harsh contrasting. I wanted to shoot Sue's natural light, and the studio wasn't good for that. So I came home from that. Within a month, I had solved all my problems. My lighting was great. I could manipulate the strobe the same way I could have manipulated window light, and now it was constant. It wasn't frustrating me. I have an alien bee back there. I have a Photech soft lighter here.
And
So it
that's the
bounces
shallow
in here.
Photech that
Yep.
Felix uses, which I
Right.
think is amazing.
Yeah, and Annie Leibovitz uses these.
Yep.
So it bounces in here, it diffuses, hits the white wall, diffuses through the
Yep.
scrim, and it is so soft, so glamorous, looks great on every age woman. I love it.
Classic Felix.
So easy. Thanks, Felix.
We love Felix.
We love you. Yeah.
V-flats.
V-flats, V-flats. They're 4 feet by 8 feet, and they just stand here as reflectors, or I use this one as like a black hole, and I can put people in here.
Where did you get your V-flats from?
A sign shop. I called them and then I said, hi, do you sell gator board? And they said, yes, we'll deliver it. And it was very
Wow.
inexpensive.
And you've got
So these
painted
are all my
ones?
painted poly boards that I got from Lowe's. So this is insulation that you get from the roof aisle.
Yep.
And I buy Oops paint, which is like mixed paint that people didn't love, and I paint V-flats with them.
Yeah, you've got
Lots
all
of
my
options.
all my favorite shooting colors.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Tell me about the silver wall.
So this silver wall is
Other than it being
just because I
a
like
disco wall.
sparkle and shine and fun.
Do you ever shoot on it?
Yeah, so I like to shoot this at 1.4, and it bokehs out to these beautiful little circles.
So this is a curtain.
Yep, it's a curtain.
Did
And
you
this
hang
is
that?
Canvas. I did hang that, yep.
Yeah. So and this hides what?
It hides all of
Oh,
this.
okay.
Just all of our gear.
That's
we have a
amazing.
ton of gear, a lot of props, and we can build multiple sets out of the stuff
Yeah.
that we have back here.
you've got
Painted
seamless
canvases,
backdrops.
seamless paper. SueBryceEducation.com is chock full of information. So it's kind of overwhelming. There's like 540 videos, but in the best way possible. So anything that I'm up against, like, oh, I'm getting so bored of these 2 V-flats I have, kind of want a canvas. Oh, the fonts are $3,000. So I'd go onto her website, and she has a video on how to paint a canvas. So I'd watch the video, and I'd blast my music and I'd lay on the floor and I started painting canvases.
Is this hand painted?
Yep, I paint all of my canvases.
Tell me, I can tell this isn't a painter's drop cloth from Amazon. Where did you get your canvas?
It's not. So I ordered this from blick.com and it comes in a big roll. And then I just cut off whatever length that I need. Yeah.
I've only just found Blick recently.
And they have stores in Los Angeles,
They
actually.
do, yeah.
They're beautiful.
I've actually just ordered some canvas rolls to see if they're good for, so I'm glad I'm seeing it.
And it's
'Cause
really
different.
light.
It's light. It's like
really
muslin.
light. So my technique, I use a lot of water in it because it's so light. My paint is
Look at
really
this.
watery. Yeah, it's
And
very,
so
very
obviously you
light.
don't get the stiff wrinkles.
Nope, not at all. Yeah, it's really, and it's just easy to
How many have you
roll
painted?
up. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And do you use them all the time?
All the time.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I like the inspiration wall.
Thank you. I've always been inspired by fashion magazines. Even before I was a photographer, I was just a little bit obsessed. And so my wonderful assistant and I made 2. We have a black and white wall over here. So when I walk in, it just gets me zinged up. I think you're gonna notice a theme here. I'm the DIY queen, and I also don't like to pay a lot of money for things. When I started this studio,
Have we met?
Yeah, hi. So when I started the studio, I had just under $3,000, and I was like, okay, I have to put floors, paint, furniture, I need lighting. This was a garage sale find for $10. Paul and I came in, we got house paint, it was white house paint. We took plastic bags on our hands and we just rubbed it down. It took 1 hour and $10.
And it's a real bed.
This is a real bed. Yep, this is the real deal.
Is it on wheels?
It is not on wheels, so it's stuck here. So I'm debating maybe removing this because it takes up so much space.
Yes.
And then I think I'm just gonna do the inflatable.
Yeah, mine's $84 from Amazon.
Right.
I inflate it, I put it away, but honestly,
Yeah, I think
it
I
will
might do
give you
the
so
same.
much. But you've got a lot of space.
But we
in
do,
here.
we have enough. So right now I'm not feeling that confined.
Okay.
So separately.
All right, let's go and see the girls
All
then.
right.
That's amazing.
Thank
This is
you.
So
I'm so
beautiful.
glad you're here. Thank you for coming. So girls are getting ready over here. Oh, you guys look beautiful.
Gorgeous.
Let's go over and see what they're doing here. Oh, Maggie, you look gorgeous.
So do you often do 2 hair and makeup simultaneously? Like, do you ever just work with one of the makeup artists, or do you often have the 2?
Yeah, it depends on what we're shooting. So today we're shooting sisters, so I did have both. Sometimes we will rotate them where if it's best friends that'll come in together and they're not doing a lot together during the shoot, I'll have one finish, come into the studio, shoot them, then I'll have the other one come in. So.
Right.
But it's lovely having both Katie and Ashley here to be available.
When I built my business, I tried so many different creative things that I thought were super original, and some failed, and some, I tried illustrating my portraits. Putting the makeup room into my studio was one of the most incredible experiences that I had. Okay, so what I had was I hung before and after albums on every makeup bay.
At the station.
And at the back it had a complimentary makeover and photo shoot for any hairdressing client or makeup client that came here to them.
Oh, that's such a
Also,
wonderful
anybody
idea.
who spent $1,800 with me
Same goes
got a
for this
voucher
one.
for a free event hair and makeup at another time. So if they're
that's a
going
wonderful
somewhere special,
idea.
they could ring a book in and say, Kristina gave me a voucher. So
That's amazing. I love that. We're gonna
not
have
only
to implement
that,
that here.
all your local people need to know about these girls, because not you, it's not you're promoting them, but ultimately you're promoting each other. You have a salon in your
a
studio.
full salon.
Yeah, and to anybody coming to this salon, you have a photography studio in your
In the
salon.
salon. That's exactly right.
Like, that is just like,
So when we network, we do a lot of networking. When I'm out, I'm a photographer with a photography studio. There's a full salon because then
You
we
really
can
do
get them
have
in. I do. And then same goes for them. We have a salon. There's also a photographer who shares our space, and we work together. So while the client's in hair and makeup, I like to give myself a little time. I tuck away, I map out the shoot, because now I've seen their outfits and I know what they've brought and what the expectations are for the shoot. I decide if we're gonna get through 4 to 6 looks. I write down what sets we're gonna shoot, and I pair them with each outfit, and I put them in the order that makes most sense when it comes to the lighting, because I do switch from natural light to strobe, and I don't wanna switch and then switch and then switch. So I make it easy on myself and my assistant by mapping out the shoot.
you're such a good girl, you map your shoot.
Of course I do, because I like to know what outfit goes with what set.
Yeah.
If I don't do that, I find that at some point I trip up and I forget something, and then they go to leave and I'm like, oh,
I still forget.
I really wanted to, you know. So
There must be a part of the creative brain that when you go into your creative brain that
you
blocks that memory, because
it must be.
Even now, I have a photographic memory, but even now I forget. So
I'm glad it's not just
visual reference. Right. What did you do?
So what I've done is we have two sisters today, so Samantha and Maggie. So I wanted to make sure that I knew who I was shooting on what. So this is set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4.
Yep.
And at the top I've put what backdrop I need, and then I've put any rug, any furniture, any stools, any apple boxes that I need.
Good girl.
And then I use your posing guide actually, and I go through the poses. Yeah, oh, I love it. It's so wonderful. I just pull it out and I think, who am I shooting today? Whether it's an age group that I'm looking for, like if I'm shooting a more mature lady, I'll go for these shots and I'll map that out. If I'm shooting a couple, I'll look at your couples posing. So we have sisters today, so you have a couple sister references. So I've just drawn them on the cards, and so I know I want to put them hip to hip, I know I want to bring their arms up, I want to put one behind, and then when I'm working, I just know what I'm doing. So I'm really excited about all the outfits that we have today.
And we're going to go in this order?
Yep, we're going to stay in this order because it's easiest for my team because we're just switching out backdrops and not lighting. And then once we switch the lighting, we'll do the 2 girls on the 2 V-flats.
Oh, great. All right, let's go. I'll help.
All right, let's do it. So set 1 is a painted backdrop that I've painted myself, and I'm going to use the tan apple boxes because I want it to feel more monochromatic. I don't want to use a lot of contrast in this one. I have Samantha in this set, and we have a beautiful pink rose dress.
So you're just going to do her on her own?
Just Samantha on her own. Oh, I love it. Big laughing smile. Good. Bring your chin to just a tiny bit. Yes, and look up to me like that. Just let your lips relax. Open mouth, little tiny smile, Samantha. Good. The second one I have painted, we call it the grunge backdrop. We're gonna set that up, and then I wanna use the white fluffy rug, so it's gonna feel more like a full set. And I'm gonna have Maggie on the chair, seated on the floor. Good job. Work this hand down this way. Beautiful, so just like that, nice and strong. Big smile. Good job, that's gorgeous.
I love that backdrop.
Do you?
That's the grunge, right?
That's the grunge one. So if you, you can see the first round, if you lift this back, it was like outer space.
Oh yeah, it's the galaxy far away.
It did not work so much for glamour photography. We don't shoot astronauts, so that didn't work. So this was the second, round of paint, and I'm in love with it.
It's like a distressed old concrete wall.
Yes, exactly.
Link fingers, girls.
Yeah, there you go. Beautiful.
That's Mum's Christmas present. And Mother's Day and birthday taken care of for a year.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you. That was gorgeous. All right, ladies, so you're gonna go get in the blue gown, and we're gonna switch the set over.
Oh, okay? I can't wait to see this.
Oh, this is gonna be the best. So next we're gonna do a large blue seamless paper roll. And I'm also gonna change the lighting. So I'm now gonna side light and then reflect back. Go down just a little bit, Meg. There you go. Push your hips back towards the backdrop so you're both like, oh, yes, beautiful. Work this shoulder now and keep your face over towards the light here. Yes, there you go. Good, Paul. The last thing, I'm gonna use V-flats. So I'll shoot Samantha on the pale pink in the natural light. So I'll switch, I'll just bring my reflector in and push the light back to her. Great big smile. Beautiful. And then I'm gonna shoot Maggie in black, on black, and I'll hair light her. So now let's work this elbow up so that you can kind of bring your hand and bring your face towards your hand and move up. Good, now work both your hands into the outside of your hair, so elbows, yes, there you go. Stunning.
When you started out, what was the first thing you created out of everything that you have here? What was your go-to? What was the first thing you made?
So the first thing I did was a before and after, and then I made this gift voucher.
Okay, so you've got the before and after on one side, the gift voucher in the other, and you started networking with this?
I did. So I started business to business networking. So I went outside the photography industry. I signed up for a BNI group, which is actually a 1 seat per profession.
Yeah.
So I went in and I got the photographer seat, and I was networking with architects or with plastic surgeons, with everyone from electricians to, so we were all getting together weekly, and that really helped build relationships. So as someone who was really new and my goal was to have a studio, I knew that that was the quickest way in with everyone in my area to get their clients.
BNI is pricey. It's not the cheapest
It's an
networking.
investment,
Yeah. It's how much does it cost?
So it's about $1,200 for your first year, because you have to spend $500 up front to get yourself in, and then you have monthly
Interesting.
dues.
That's great.
So,
but you know everyone in there is legitimate and
Absolutely, and they've built that networking group over time, and when you get in, the more you give, the more you get from BNI, so you learn a lot of really great lessons along the way.
there is one thing that I know about you, and that's building relationships comes very easily to you.
Yes, it does.
I teach everybody, if you struggle in this area, you are going to struggle in business. Do you believe that that is one of the most powerful tools you can have marketing your business?
I walk in and my passion for this oozes out of me, and everyone's like, oh, what is she talking about? And at the same time, I'm actually genuinely interested in people. So when I go to a networking event, I want to know what do you need from me? How can I help you get business? I have this network of people. I would love to introduce you to my network, and that in turn just makes them want to give you more.
Yeah, can we just make two things really clear in terms of building relationships? One of them is we spend so much time hoping we're good enough to be in this group, we don't actually get to a point where we're offering ourselves as a service. I say this all the time. And also you just have to understand that you really go in there with a service in your mind and just say, I'm offering an incredible service.
Yes.
I'm not trying to sell something.
No.
I'm offering an
Please come
incredible
experience
service.
this. Yes.
Yes. Okay, and so that worked for you. Do you still
So this
use
was to
it?
I haven't used this in about 2 years, unless a client comes in and I want to give them something, because so if someone is an evangelist for me, and that's really how I run my business. Now I just wake up and the emails flood in. I don't even have to network at this level, because I've done so many photo shoots and the clients have been so happy because we have served them well in this space that they're out running around telling everyone about it. So now I don't have to pay for networking. Now I don't have to spend, I've never spent $1 in advertising. It's all referrals. So the referrals that I get back, I make sure that I am giving back to them. So if someone sends me 3 photo shoots, they're either gonna get an offer for a print from a session they've already done, or I'll give them this to come back in. But I don't use this to get bums on seats anymore, because my folio's been built for a couple of years.
Okay, now the PDF is probably one of the biggest, most important things you can create. Walk me through yours.
So we wanted to show the experience, and we wanted to keep it really simple. I tend to get stuff from people, and if it has a lot of words, I'm sorry, I'm just not gonna sit and read your wordy document. So Paul and I did this PDF together because we both shoot separately for Glamour and other things. So Hello Gorgeous, just to get it started, a beautiful image that's striking and that makes you want to see more. We have a more mature woman. It says beautiful makeover and photo shoot.
Nice and clear.
Yep. And then the signature luxury portrait session. It says you get a model for a day experience, an over-the-phone consultation, professional hair and makeup, styling, and a fully guided photo shoot and several wardrobe changes. And we say that you get professional hair and makeup for $300. So that's our session fee. So then just some more photos to kind of show you an idea of what we're shooting.
Shine.
So this is just a little bit about me sitting in my studio space, so they get a glimpse of what we're doing here. A little bit about Paul.
Great.
I feel like when people see all of these images, one of the things they do is say, oh, but I don't look like that. I'm not gonna book because I have to lose 10 pounds and I have to, well, here's a before and after. So if you can see this and how gorgeous she looked, you're sold. So then I have her here again, and then it's making it obvious that I'm gonna bring you back in.
I like that in-person ordering. Good girl, that's so amazing.
And then we have our heirloom quality products. So that's pretty much our PDF, and that goes out to them upon inquiry. And once they're sold on the experience, we also have videos now that we'll send them the links to, so it gets them even more excited. Then I get on the phone with them and we walk through this. And after the phone consult, I'll send the full price list and make them aware of everything that's going on.
Talk to me about this, because this is beautiful. It's
Isn't
a
that
little bit of a
gorgeous?
spin on the magazine.
Yes.
I feel like it's a heavier quality. Who printed this?
So this is from Miller's, and
Yes.
it's pearl paper, and it's their soft cover book.
Go Miller's.
So isn't that cool? And I just love the sheen for our quality of work. So this is all photos. It has no words in it. I carry this around because when I say glamour photography, the average person isn't aware of what that is, and so I just show them. This is what we're gonna photograph of you. It's gonna be fashion style images, beautiful portraits of you. I show them this, and who doesn't want to look like this?
Beautiful.
Right? We shoot outdoors, so I have sometimes I'll take the client out for this last hour of the day to sunset, so I show that. We sometimes start with glamour and move into boudoir so that they get a double session and want to purchase maybe a separate album. So this is just to show people what we're creating.
Gorgeous. And this product I think is beautiful, but this isn't so much a folio. This is something that you sell.
So that's one of our top sellers.
Who created this one?
So that's Pro DPI, and this is a press printed album, so the photos are all printed directly onto the paper. We sell it from 8x10, which is this size, and 9x12.
So you said album, but ultimately it just feels like the highest quality book.
Yeah.
It feels more book-like
Yes,
than
it
an
does.
album to me. So how much did this book cost?
This is $42,
Yeah.
and this would be more in the 180 to, depending on what cover you want to use, to 220.
Which is the same as a folio box.
Yes.
Okay, so the only downside would be horizontals and verticals, but you can do a double page horizontal.
Absolutely, yeah, we do that all the time.
So Pro DPI,
Yep.
Miller's, and
Yep.
what's this one called for everyone out there? Because I love both of these products.
So this is a press printed album from
Yes.
Pro DPI,
Okay.
and that is a soft cover book from Miller's with
Okay.
pearl finish.
All right, so where are your boxes from?
So this is a Bay Photo folio box, and it is, you can do the photo covers if you wish. So I'll ask a client if they would
don't
like this
actually do
fabric.
them.
Yeah, the fabric just is so classic, and when it sits there,
Yeah.
but I do give them the option if they want it.
And this is
so-
not Tiffany's blue, but it's kind of
Isn't
got
it
that
fun?
feeling.
That little
Like it's
up
not
higher
exactly right, but it's, yeah.
So this one's been embossed with our
Beautiful.
logo. So this is 8x10, this is 11x14. Inside this one we have 5x7s. So you can pull out, so I'll put these in the client's hand. I will go ahead and print like the top 3 images just so they can see themselves in print. I feel like the prints just read differently when they're seeing them versus seeing them just on the Animoto
Yeah.
slideshow. So I want them to just get an idea.
All right, take me to your sales room.
All right, let's
Take
go
me
right
to your
through these
leader.
doors.
She's such an incredibly confident, gregarious, vivacious woman, and her ability to make friends and build networks is just so much a part of her personality. It's extraordinary, and that's the answer. That's the answer to building a network and business contacts and relationships that will literally change your world. So walk me through a sales session. You sit here, they sit here. Do you stay in this chair?
So I stay over here kind of out of the way in the corner. I bring it sometimes if it's a woman who's come in, I use this like bring your baby at the end, bring your kids, bring your husband. So usually the family will come or someone, mom will come.
Yeah.
And so I seat them all here, I get them a refreshment, we kind of settle in, and I like to chat first. I don't want to go into selling on them. So we chat, we catch up, we talk about the session. I let them give me feedback on the session, I ask for it. And then we go right into an Animoto slideshow. So we play that on the TV, it has music to it, it slowly reveals their session as it went. Sometimes we'll put a before in there, or I'll throw some words kind of sprinkled in. And after they've seen that, they're usually really emotional and taken aback, and I just give them a moment to think about what they just saw, and then I start presenting products to them. So the price list goes into their lap after I've shown them, so this is what we talked about, this is the price list that you saw, and then we'll pull out the laptop that has all of the photos, and we'll start going through narrowing photos that they want.
So your average portrait sale is at 1,800.
Yes.
How long did it take you to get up to 1,800?
It took me about a year to climb from doing shoot and burn and then going into in-person sales. And from in-person sales, I went 600, 1,000,
Increments.
1,200, yeah.
Did your price list change in that time, or did you just start getting better at selling it?
The price list changed a little. So how I started, I goaled with the big numbers. I put the big numbers out there because I had to get comfortable saying them. So I didn't want to have repeat clients, which is, I have a lot of repeat clients in the studio. So I didn't want them to go, okay, well, why, and have to explain myself. So I went ahead and put the big price list out there, and then I either offered more or I offered a discount at first, or I would throw the session fee into that. So I'd say, you can just have your whole $300 just to get myself comfortable, because I really had to get over that at first.
So I just taught that in the 12-week startup. Isn't it better to be half price at $1,200 than to try and sell up to $600?
Absolutely. And
Because then they feel like they're getting a deal.
Yeah, for sure. So that's what I would do is until I was comfortable, I would say, okay, I want to sell 600 today. I'd put them in the 1200 and I'd say, well, if you order right now and you take some, you decide what you want, then I'm going to give it to you for 600.
Do you think you sell more folio boxes, more albums, or more wall portraits, or are you a good mix of everything?
So we sell albums mostly. I think that's a product that the clients feel really comfortable with.
And it's a product you feel comfortable with,
and
because it's what you feel comfortable with.
Right. So I think that with me putting the album out there and feeling comfortable talking about it, having a bunch of samples to show them, they go for that. And so this year, actually in 2017, I'm going to challenge myself to sell more folio boxes, because I'm not selling that many. And one of the things I need to do is print and let them walk out with a folio box. Because right now I'm selling it to them, well, this is what it's going to look like. And it's filled with other people's portraits. And then I would have to order it and get it to them. So I need to do the reveal. So I don't do the reveal currently.
Do you include your Animoto slideshow in your sale, or do you give it as an incentive?
I will give it as an incentive if they're thinking about something, because we have it on the price list right now for $600.
Right.
So it's an a la carte item. So if they're going towards $1,200 or $1,800, I'll say you can also have the video slideshow. You can use it on social media. You can keep it as a keepsake, and I'll just include it.
And I see you don't sell much canvas, but you sell a lot of metal prints.
Yeah, so again, I guess it's just because I personally like metal, and I think that our really modern, clean style of photography looks great on metal, so I don't show a lot of canvas, so people don't buy a lot of canvas.
You don't show a lot of boxes either, so you don't sell boxes.
Exactly, so this year is folio box time.
Do you offer personal branding?
We do offer personal branding.
How much? Any different than your normal price list?
Yes, so the way that, personal branding, usually people don't come and say, I want some personal branding. They say, I need a headshot. So I get on the phone with them. Okay, what do you need a headshot for? Is your company sending you in? If it's like, yes, I need one for my business card, great. If it's like, no, I'm a realtor, or I'm a broker and I just started this business and I'm starting a website, or I am a therapist and I'm actually just opening my business and I need to put myself out there, then I know that that's more than a headshot. So that's when I'll say, well, we offer professional hair and makeup, because it's just a little more advanced than a headshot. So a lot of times though, I will bring in that headshot client, which is a really low entry point. So our portrait session with hair and makeup is $300.
Yep.
Our headshot is $100. Sometimes if they book that and they maybe just bump to hair and makeup as well, I'll say, we've got some gowns back there if you want to, you're in professional hair and makeup. So I'll turn that really short, sweet headshot client into a personal branding client or a glamour client just by sending them to my dressing room, and I'll sell them prints for their husband or for themselves.
$1,800 average. You still shoot weddings?
We still shoot weddings.
How many?
Yes. We shoot about 20 weddings a year.
Whoa.
Yeah,
And
we're a busy
what's your
wedding studio.
sales average on your wedding?
4,800.
Whoa, that's a good average.
Yeah.
And you also have 2 assistants that you farm out at a lower rate.
Right.
Which is what?
So we shoot weddings for different packages. So if I shoot a wedding as the lead photographer, that's my average. And then we do smaller weddings with smaller guest count for 4 to 6 hours rather than a full day, around 1,400.
How many shoots are you doing a week, portrait shoots a week?
I would say we do 2 portrait shoots a week, whether that be glamour maternity where we do hair and makeup, or a folio build for somebody. And then we do at least an engagement or something else that's in that wedding market. So, and then maybe 5 headshots a week as well.
Okay, so you are shooting just about every day.
We shoot, yeah.
Are you
6 days a week.
outsourcing your retouching?
I do outsource my retouching. So Paul Warner, he has glamouredit.com.
I always recommend Paul.
He's amazing. So for the last year and a half, he took over, I would say about 90% of my retouching. He's now an incredible retoucher for a lot of people, including some of the mentors.
Yeah.
So now Shyla, my assistant, is picking up some of that so that he can be free to work with other clients.
So Paul
as well.
got too famous with
I know,
other
Paul's.
people.
Yeah, and then I was like, bye, and I was like, okay, fine. So now he's at like 15% of my work, and then me and Shyla pick up the rest of that. So
You've been here for 3 years.
yeah, it'll be 3 years this summer.
Where did you start out weak? I know that networking was never a weakness for you.
No, it's always what excited
What
me.
was your weakness?
So for me, it was always, oh, I haven't been doing this long enough. I still felt like a newbie. I wasn't a really technical photographer, and so I had to overcome that I'm new at this and I need to put the time in before I can charge in this industry.
Nobody knows what you've been doing in the last 10 years.
Nobody knows.
But the best part is, I've never had a client in 27 years ask me what an f-stop is, or what shutter speed I'm using, or what ISO I've chosen.
And I was getting hung up on that at first.
Yeah, I've maybe had 3 clients ask me what camera I photographed on. So all of that existed in your brain.
It was all in my head and no one actually cared. So I was just stopping myself. I was stopping myself from the get-go because, oh, well, I'm still really new, so I'm folio building. And I used it as an excuse to not do in-person sales, and I was shooting and burning and all of that.
Something really funny, I often say to people, what do you say if somebody says, how long have you been a photographer? And my answer would have been, I started out in graphic design and became a photographer. And how old were you when you started doing graphic design?
I was 22.
Okay, so that was 9 years ago. So you could go, I started out in graphic design and slowly became a photographer because people needed headshots, and then I got really good at it. And I've been doing that for 9 years.
Right.
Did I just lie?
No.
Did I avoid the question?
No, you answered it.
I just sometimes think you don't have to say 1 year because everything you learned about being a graphic designer is in this brand.
Absolutely.
The design, the composition, the cropping, you learned that.
I feel like my whole life led me to this, actually.
So you haven't actually just been a photographer for a short amount of time. There's always a way around it. When we were talking on the phone about coming here, we talked about how hard it is for some people to get out of their own way. And you said, there is no one size fits all.
Right.
So I can only teach what I've experienced, but at the bottom line, what do you say to everyone when they've got to work it out on their own? What would you say?
So I started watching you in 2013, and it was all glamour, and I understood what you were building and the brand that I could create using your business model. But every time you put out a Creative Live or a new educational video or something on your Facebook, I would take a piece of that worked in my life and my schedule at the time. At one point I had a baby, then I had a toddler who I had to pay for daycare, and now I have a kindergartner. So I'm always molding your business model around what I am doing, yes, my life, and what I'm shooting, because I am shooting other genres than glamour. We're just still using the business model of hair and makeup. We do it for engagement sessions. And so this price list, and I have one that says seniors, with senior pictures. I have one that says family. I have one that says, I have one for everything. And
don't change the price list.
I don't change this.
Change the setting fee to accommodate the genre.
Exactly, so that when someone comes in, I stick my senior one, and we do the same thing, it's just a different genre. So I've always taken a little piece of what you've taught and made it my own. If you think that I have to do tulle and I have to put flowers and I have to have a frame wall, you don't have to copy everything Sue Bryce is doing. What is your vision for your brand? What are you shooting? Who are you interested in?
And be creative with your problem solving.
Yes. So, because everything's not going to work for everyone.
Your price list is too cheap.
You think so?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should be $2,500 average, and you can bump that mounted price up straight away. I think your mounted price should be your metal price.
Okay.
Yeah, it's time.
It's time. It's been a while.
I'll look forward to seeing that over the next year.
Okay. She said my $1,800 average should be more like a $2,500 average. And I think I sat there and got a little tense. I think we all get scared of doing that. I think we're scared that we're going to alienate our clients in some way, or that I don't know if I can accept that much money. Am I worth it? We go through all of that in our head. But it has been about a year, and you know what? Sue Bryce has never steered me wrong. So I'm just going to do it, because I'm a just do it girl.
Thank you for letting us spend the day with you.
Thank you for coming. This has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Let's go and eat some dinner.
Okay.
And have a glass of wine.
Oh, I like your style. This has been one of the best days of my life. I think this was hugely beneficial for me, but I hope that she comes away knowing that she's doing so much good in the world, because I'm one of God knows how many people who have been positively affected by her education, who have left jobs that they hated, who have found their passion, who have freedom financially, and just get to have so much fun dressing up women and showing them their worth.
I could spend my whole life telling people stories about success. When I heard her story, I was so taken back, having a newborn baby and just totally feeling like her career was not going in any direction that she had chosen. And then 3 years later, she's supporting her husband. She's built an entire business around herself. What a complete joy.
I want to affect people the way that Sue Bryce has affected me. She's brought so much to my life, and I could never thank her or be more grateful than I am today.